Would it surprise you to know that 1 in 3 adults in the US has a side gig that earns them on average $891 a month? Want in? Let's check it out. Hi, I'm Yvonne, host of Fearless and Fabulous, a channel for women 50 plus who want to make the rest of their life the best of their life. But that's a lot easier when you have a little extra green to work with. So let's talk about 10 fun side gigs that you may just want to try yourself. This is a wooden carving plaque that my sister-in-law made for me. And it says my name, and then it has my profession, and my profession is kind of hard to read. It says a multipreneur. And that's because I have created many businesses, many side gigs, and I usually have at least 3 things going on at once. So I'll share the side gigs that I'm doing myself or have done myself with varying degrees of success as we discuss these 10 fun side gigs. Number 1 is my favorite side gig ever. I'm doing it now. I've been doing it for about 2.5 years, and it brings me so much joy. It's boarding dogs for Rover, and boarding simply means keeping dogs in your home overnight rather than having them stay in a kennel. And we have 2 dogs of our own, so it makes it really easy to just add up to 2 extra dogs. We usually don't take more than 2 extra, so that's 4 dogs, which is plenty. I work from home, so it makes it really easy. I will provide a link to how you can sign up for Rover yourself in the description. But it's super easy. You just create a profile. You want to get some testimonials, maybe pictures of you with dogs. And then, you post the ad. It costs around $50 for the application fee. And after that, Rover just takes 20% of your income for any clients that you book. Super easy. And I did do a video on this for this channel, which I will also post at the very end of this video. Then there's Etsy, which I'm sure you've heard of. Now, I joined Etsy a couple of years ago. I am no longer on Etsy as a seller. I am on Etsy frequently as a buyer. I still love Etsy, but it just did not work for me. A lot of work, a lot of fees that Etsy takes, and it was very hard to rise to the top and get any notice at all with your products. I did have one rather successful product that I'll share with you right now. I designed this little mug, and it sold really well around Christmas time, and I'm sure you can see why. It's simply adorable. I had AI create the image for me, and then I put the fonts on, and then I had a print-on-demand company create the mugs for me, and then they would actually ship them for me as well. But there's so many fees involved, it's really hard to make any serious money. But if you're crafty, I think you can charge what you want to charge, because individually created things I think are much more valuable, and they hold their value better, and I think you're going to have a lot more customers. So if you have something crafty that you do, you might want to check out Etsy. Look at the good and the bad videos about Etsy and make your mind up for yourself. Then this is one that's interesting. It's thrifting and flipping. So there are many ways to do this. One of them, there was a home in my neighborhood where I used to live, and I noticed they had a permanent garage sale going on all the time. And I'm like, how are they not selling their stuff? How can they have more stuff to sell? Because their tables always seem to be full. And then I finally figured out that what they're doing is going around to other garage sales, probably talking the people down on their prices, getting bargains, maybe going in at the end and just swooping up everything, and then putting them out in their own garage sale for sale at a markup. Now, to me, that's sort of 𝗬𝗂𝗖𝗢𝗠, I would say, not really my thing. But if you love garage sailing, you might enjoy that. So that's one way to do thrifting and flipping. Another way, which I think is more intriguing for me, although I've never done it, is you pick a niche, like something that you really know a lot about, like maybe China or vintage clothing, And then you go to Goodwill and thrift shops and look for things you know are much more valuable than they are pricing them at. And then you can sell them on places like eBay or Facebook Marketplace or Craigslist or wherever collectors gather. So that's another way to do it. And then I had a friend who, well, it's my friend's son. This wasn't exactly thrifting. It was a product that was very much in demand. It was getting close to Christmas. And he bought a bunch of these. It was some kind of PlayStation, I think it was. He bought like half a dozen of them or more. And then, because he knew they were going to be running out, he sold them at a huge markup. He knew people were going to be desperate to get, their hands on one of these. So he maybe paid $260 for each unit and sold them for over $500. So he made a killing on that. To me, that feels kind of yucky, but whatever, to each his or her own. And of course, you can freelance. There are sites like Upwork and Fiverr, which I'll link in the description as well, that connect freelancers like bookkeepers and virtual assistants and typesetters with clients. And then there's indie publishing, and this is another one that I am currently doing right now. So I have written and indie published, at least 10 books. Some of them in my own name and some of them in pen names. And they're on Amazon. There are audiobooks on Audible. And then I also sell them through places like Barnes & Noble and Apple Pay as either digital or audio books. And that brings me in, a few $100s each month. It's not ever going to be the gig that Rover is unless I were to maybe do 50 books, which some people recommend, getting 50 books out there, and then you could actually make a living off of that. But time is short, and I do so much research when I create a book. What I try to do is distill like 30 books into one book. Just take the gems out of that book and compress them and then put my own flavor on and my own experience on them. And then I come up with a book. And so you can see behind me, there are 3 of the books that I've created. They're the Goddess trilogies. There's Goddesses Don't Diet, which is all about intermittent fasting. A huge fan of that. Goddesses Are Ageless, which is my philosophy on life. And that's a fabulous book. That one's probably done the best of the 3 of them. And then Goddesses Stay Sexy, which is a sleeper book, which I think everybody should have. It is fantastic. And I think it's my best written book so far, but it just hasn't flown off the shelf. So if you pick one up, let me know if you enjoy it. I would love to hear your feedback. So there are many videos out there on how to get started in indie publishing. I won't rehash those now, but I will do a video on my own journey in the future. So if you'd like me to do that sooner than later, drop me a comment and I will move it to the top of the stack. Tutoring is another great side gig. If you have a skill that is in demand, you could sign up for one of these websites and offer yourself as a tutor. You'll probably have to go through some hoops to make sure that you are somebody who knows something about that topic, and then you just accept students and you set your own schedule. My son takes tutoring from an animator in California, and he's learning all about animation. So he takes a weekly animation class through an animator through a company called 𝗬𝗎𝗄. And what about being a local guide or an Airbnb host? I have a friend, Audrey, who has an extra dwelling on her 20-acre property in the Ozarks, and she rents out that dwelling as a spiritual retreat. I have another friend named Carolyn who loves going to Ireland so much that she decided she was going to start organizing tours to Ireland. So she charges people whatever she charges them, and sets an itinerary for them and acts as their local guide in Ireland, even though she's not from that area. Can you believe it's taken me this long to tell you about the other side gig, having your own YouTube channel? Yes, I have a YouTube channel, and I just started it in February of 2025, and I already have not over 9,000 subscribers. And I love my community so much. The people that are attracted to this channel are my people, fearless and fabulous women who want to make the rest of their life the best of their life. So thank you for being here. And if you would like to start your own channel, you just need an idea for a channel, whatever excites you, whatever makes you happy. Now, you're probably wondering, how am I going to make money off of that? Well, there are a few ways. One way is that once you get a certain number of subscribers, which is only 1,000 and really doesn't take too long to get, so 1,000 subscribers, and then 4,000 watch hours, and that does take a bit longer to get. I'm not anywhere near that yet. I'm at about over 400 hours since February, so I don't even know if I'll make it this year, but that's just one way. So, but once you get to that level, 4,000 watch hours in 1 year and 1,000 subscribers, you can start monetizing your channel by placing ads on your channel. So YouTube actually partners with you. Once you're at that level, they'll send you a notice and say, hey, do you want to be a partner? And then you fill out this application, you send it in them, and I think a couple weeks later, then you're monetized. And so what that means is advertisers can then post ads on your site. And I know if it's not true, then I'm not going to do it, but I'm pretty sure you can decide what ads could be placed on your site. So I'm not going to have ads for things like, I don't know, Viagra or whatever. It's not going to happen on my site. But once I get to that point, then I'll decide, which ads I'm going to accept. And I'm not going to put ads in every 15 seconds. Like, I have an exercise video. I love her, but she interrupts my exercise with these stupid ads, and it's so irritating. I would never do that to somebody. But, gotta make a buck, right? Okay, so that's one way to monetize a YouTube channel. Another way is a sponsorship. And so a company will approach you and say, hey, will you review my product? And of course you want to do that honestly. I was approached by a company shortly after I launched my channel. I think I only had a little over 1,000 subscribers at that point. And they wanted me to review a product that was like a health scale. You stand on the scale and then it monitors lots of different types of, health. And I said, yeah, I'd be happy to look at it for them. But then I never heard back from them. So I don't know if they just were sending out a whole bunch of emails to see who might be interested. And then, they picked from that group. I don't know. Doesn't matter. The other way that you can make money from a YouTube channel is you could sell services on your channel. So some people sell courses or books, for instance. I don't actually sell my books through the channel, but they're there, and every once in a while I'll remind people, hey, by the way, I write books, would you buy my book? So that's another way. So if you have a product that you're interested in, maybe you are crafty and you want to sell something on your site that's crafty. And then you just show them how you do something and say, I have these available, here's my website, direct them to your website. So that's another way to do that. Oh, I forgot one. The other thing you can do is affiliate marketing. So sometimes people will be talking about a product in the middle of their YouTube video, and they'll say, oh, there's a link to it below, I am an affiliate. And so if you click that link and you buy that product, they get a little chunk of change from, selling the product for you. Now, if being on camera isn't your thing, you could consider either a blog or a website. And it's the same kind of idea. You create great content that people want to see, and then you can sell advertisement or have affiliate links on that website or blog. We've talked about tutoring and online classes, but what about an in-person class? My friend 𝗬𝗂𝗄𝗅𝗔𝗖𝗍𝗔 is a yoga teacher. She got certified in yoga and she teaches yoga classes. You could teach something of one of your hobbies, whatever skill you have that people would be interested in, like cooking or I don't know, stand-up paddleboarding, or maybe teaching someone a language. You could host classes in your home or at a community center and just make a little bit of money for each class that you teach. It's not about hustling hard or working 24/7. It's about hustling smart and working at something that you love. Who knows, you may discover a new passion or create a new business and quit that 9-to-5 job. If any of these ideas jumped out at you or inspired other ideas, or if you already have a side gig you love, please post it in the comments. You may inspire someone else. You have so much to offer. Your wisdom and your life experience are your edge. Share them with the world and make a little money at it. So whether you're flipping vintage finds or creating a blog or walking dogs, just know that you're creating something real and have fun with it. Stay fearless and fabulous, and I will see you next time.